Well, unless you've been living under a rock over the last week, the entire planet, Josh, would be aware that PlayStation has announced its new next-gen console, PlayStation 5, Josh.
Yes, after all this time, they finally released some specifications on what the console will have, and also on the controller as well.
Well, it's very interesting. I think probably we should address the main thing first is the look. I mean, the first look of the PlayStation 5 is... It's a very unique looking console. Yeah. I mean, is that what we're going to be buying in stores, Josh? Is what looks like a leftover design of the Prometheus ship.
Oh, yeah. It does look very futuristic, doesn't it?
It's honestly ugly. It's not. It doesn't. There must be a cooling mechanism why that's the reason to do it, because it just doesn't make sense from a design.
Well, at the moment, so the picture they've released, that's only the dev kit at the moment. So that's what all the developers are going to work with. So it's pretty much the prototype.
Okay.
So there'll most likely be some design changes after they test it out to work out what works and what doesn't.
Well, that totally makes sense.
That's the dev kit at the moment.
That's the dev kit. Yeah, fantastic.
Yeah.
Now, there's some pretty big specs that are being kind of touted around with the PlayStation 5. What are some of the significant changes we're going to see this time around?
Okay, well, probably the biggest change, I think, for the console is now they're using an SSD storage device, instead of a typical hard drive, which is a much better change. Yeah. Because with a hard drive, it's a spinning disc.
Yeah. And you've got limited data transfer rates.
Yes, exactly. So that means with an SSD, you'll not only have... Well, you'll have faster transfer rates, which is good. Plus, over the years, the amount of money that you pay per gigabyte of storage for the SSD has gone down. Right. So that's probably why Sony has chosen to do this. And
so, in layman's term, that means faster load times.
Much faster load times,
and way more efficient.
Yes, so less chances of faults. So that means loading up save games will be faster, loading up cutscenes will be faster.
Yeah.
And in open world games now, there's a lot of fast traveling.
Yeah.
So obviously, when you fast travel, those times will be cut down quite a bit. So it's a much better choice for storage capacity.
Fantastic,
I think.
fantastic. So obviously, you're a big PlayStation fan, supporter. I mean, it's your console of choice.
Yes, I used to be Xbox. I played the 360 quite a bit, and then I moved to PS3, and now we've got a PS4 Pro.
Absolutely. So, what have been some of the highlights of this announcement for you?
Probably the hard drive is probably the biggest thing.
Is the big thing?
Yeah, they're still using physical discs, which I'm not really surprised about. At some point down the line, they might go to digital, but they're still using physical discs.
That's interesting, isn't it? I mean, this day and age of storage is so much cheaper. You would think maybe they could move towards a Nintendo Switch direction and go back to cartridges.
Yes. Well, probably down the line, they might do that because cartridges are a lot more stable, but for now, they're going to stick with the other physical discs.
It's fair to say their main focus as a developer is really they want people downloading the stuff, don't they?
Yeah.
They really don't want you buying physical media anymore. They want you to download and stream, don't they?
Yeah. Well, they'll obviously still release digital copies online for you to pre-order and download on the day.
Yeah.
So that'll still be a big focus, but there still will be the physical copies of each game.
What about the controller? There's been some rumours and news that we may have a slightly different design controller.
It'll look a bit different. There's no confirmed images at the moment, so it's still in the prototype phase.
Yeah.
But there'll be some new adaptive triggers, which means depending on how hard you push down, that'll be the amount of pressure. So, for example, if you're using a bow in a game, the harder you push down, the harder you draw the bow.
Oh, yeah. That's super cool.
And it probably also means with first-person shooters, when you push down the trigger a little bit, you'll most likely do a semi-auto fire and have probably a more stable thing, whereas pushing it down all the way will be full auto. So it'll be a much more immersive, I think.
Yeah.
Also,
fantastic.
they're changing. They're not using rumble motors anymore for the vibration.
Right. Well, how do they do that?
They're using haptic motors now, which means they'll be able to. They'll be able to make a much more sensitive and immersive experience on the game, because with rumble motors, they give you a vibration, and it's usually a general vibration throughout the game. So there'll be varying degrees of the vibration, but it's pretty general. Yeah. But with haptic motors, depending on what's going on screen and what terrain you're on, so for example, if you're on snow, ice, sand, dirt,
you will feel that.
It'll feel a bit more personal to each of the terrains you're on, so it'll feel a bit more immersive, I think.
Oh, that's amazing. I had seen someone, of course, they're all just probably artist rendering of what potentially the controller could be, but there was talk about maybe some touch screen display?
That is a possibility. I think that picture is only a concept at the moment, but that is a very big possibility,
Yeah.
I think. Maybe to make it a bit more...
Well, it would be advantageous to be able to, say, go through your menu or your loadouts, things like that.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah,
like if they do that, that would be cool, but that might mean the controller will be a bit bigger.
Maybe.
Screen a bit bigger.
Yeah, so it is like very early days. Now,
Yeah.
have they given a worldwide release date yet?
They haven't given a very specific release date, but they said late 2020. So most likely...
Wow, so we're within the 12 months range of getting it. And it'll probably be around this time this year, next year, because of Christmas.
I think latest will be November, but earliest will be October, I think. So very late.
Well, now previously with every PlayStation console, they never seem to make enough units, do they? They always seem to sell out very early on.
Yes, that is true, and also with the games as well. So they haven't announced any games at the moment, but I hope that with the games they bring out, they make quite a few. Yeah. But they're also kind of trying to fix that problem. Why now the PS5 now has backwards compatibility, whereas the PlayStation 4 didn't. So that means all of the PlayStation 3 games that you had, you couldn't use like on your PlayStation 4.
Really? I did not know that. That ain't cool.
Xbox does. They have backwards compatibility, but PlayStation 4 doesn't. So now that they've got backwards compatibility with the PlayStation 5, that means all of the PlayStation 4 games that you have will now be able to use on that, and they'll most likely be optimized as well. So that means all the load times for those games will be much quicker.
I would assume then we could see some upscaling with some of the older games.
Yes,
too, because will it be a default 4K ready?
No,
console?
They've said that the console will be 8K ready.
What?
Yeah.
8K ready.
8K ready. Yes.
I won't even get into the whole 8K whether I'm actually a believer in 8K or not.
Yeah.
But either way, okay. So it's definitely going to be that next level of graphic.
There'll definitely be an upscale. Yes. Yeah.
Well, that seems like fantastic news, Josh. I mean, obviously you'd be excited. Have they given us a price range of what they're looking at yet?
They haven't given us a price range, but most likely what we paid for the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One when it came out, around $500, I think.
Yeah.
In some countries it may be different, but here in Australia it was around
$5.99,
I think.
Yeah, $5.99.
Yeah.
Well, that's absolutely fantastic, guys. Josh, that's great news about PlayStation coming out. I'm sure there's going to be a lot more details as we get closer to the release
definitely.
date.
I think so, yeah.
And so we'll touch in from time to time specifically on this topic just to see all the info that comes out prior to release of PlayStation 5. So thanks for coming in today, Josh, and talking about PlayStation 5. It seems to be amazing. I mean, Josh is the expert here. I'm more of a movie guy. He's a gamer guy. But with his expertise, guys, I think we're going to get some pretty good information as we go through. Now, if you guys have got any comments about the release of the PlayStation 5, what you think about so far the information, maybe some ideas and speculations that you might have for the upcoming release, we would love to hear about it. And you do that by just commenting down below. You subscribe, you hit the notification bell, you follow us all on our social medias, and that is that, guys. And until next time, we will see you soon.
See you, dudes.